What up? Let's look at these KMC sleeves. Ooh. Scale this down. Need a large image. Oh shit. Paste that shit. Once we finish this, then we can get on with the review here. Give me 1 second. Okay. All right. One more little detail and we're okay. Let's see. Almost done, boys. Almost done. There we go. Very good. So let's take a look at the 2 items I bought for my commander deck. So just kind of a quick backstory. Thanks for kind of hanging in there while I, Photoshop the cover real quick. So this is just showing you guys. This is a real time live review. I didn't get paid, didn't get sponsored. If these aren't sponsored or paid products by any means. I did purchase this stuff with my own money. One second, let me adjust the mic here for you guys. Hopefully the mic's okay, the audio's all right for you guys. But I got here the, hopefully you guys can see it. Maybe the image is a little bit better, but this is the Ultra Pro Satin Tower. This holds 100 cards sleeved in Ultra Pro sleeves. They advertised it, but I've had obviously plenty of Ultra Pro sleeves before. I did some research now to see if you know what sleeves I wanted to get for my Commander deck. This is specifically for my Commander deck, so it should fit 100 sleeved cards in here in the top compartment. What I really like about this tower is that, one, it's very clean, very simple, but also very, how do you say, sophisticated, and it's a very good looking box. First of all, it's not, I have you know, Dragon Armor boxes, I've got Ultra Pro boxes, I have the other Ultra Pro, you know, magnetic leather case for these, and those are fine and everything, and they're good carrying in my bag, but this is something I can actually leave on my desk, and it actually just kind of fits in with my desk and all the other objects I have on my desk without kind of being a distraction, I guess, or without being too noticeable at first. But it's just clean, it's very minimal if you're into that kind of thing. So that's kind of my taste. My taste has kind of matured a little bit from having to be extremely colorful. I still do have my Dragon Armor sleeves and my Ultra Pro sleeves that are you know, fluorescent color, bright color, just for fun. But this is just to kind of switch it up. I've kind of paired this in my review with some KMC hyper matte sleeves that were recommended to me. Checking those out. Have never used KMC's products before. It's a Japanese product, so it did ship from Japan, and I was able to actually get a really good deal on those. And I'll go into those in a minute here, but I just kind of like to show you how this box is kind of set up. So the whole concept of the box is, it's called a satin tower, so the feel of it is got this very soft touch satin feel to it, and when I first touched it, oh my gosh, it was so nice on the hands. But it also had me worrying about, you know, marks, because it is a black, you know, it does come in different colors, so I believe there's, you know, there's red, there's white, there's blue, and they're all going to be matte colors. I kind of went with a little more minimal. I went black because I really like that kind of clean, mysterious look. But it does have 3 compartments. So the top is just the cover for your deck compartment, and I'll shimmy it open, and you can kind of see, if I do just take my cards out, you can kind of see that it's hollow in there. Hopefully you can kind of see that, but and you can kind of see the picture on there. The middle compartment will hold the sleeved cards in there. Hold on, let me make sure the cards get in there nice and neat. Okay, and they do hold the cards up here in this compartment, which I really like. And as you can see, right now this is about 73 cards, so almost 75 cards sleeved, and we've still got, you know, a good amount of space for the lands that I still need to put in my Commander deck. So my Commander deck is almost finished. I have my Hirobi Commander deck, mono black Commander deck. That's I'm excited to kind of get going for Friday Night Magic with some buddies. This will be kind of a fun deck to introduce to them. But as you can see, you know, there are ridges here to kind of line up with the Ultra Pro silver logo or badge here. It'll kind of, you know, it fits, the cover is machined pretty snugly, so, you know, nothing too hard. But one mechanic that they've introduced in here are these little dots, these little bumps that kind of protrude out, and that actually kind of gives it this snappy, the snapping mechanic that prevents your cover from slipping off or falling apart while you're holding it or carrying it sideways or whatever while it's in your backpack. You don't have to worry about this top cover coming off, and you can kind of hear it when I press it down. I don't have to apply too much pressure, but a little bit of pressure up on top, and you can hear it snap. The only downside to that snap mechanic is I always get really paranoid opening it up. I have to kind of shimmy it, otherwise I feel like I'm going to, you know, I am applying a little bit of pressure. I am applying some resistance to pull this apart. And you can see I shimmied it open to get it open. And maybe that's just some it's going to take some getting used to, is what I'm trying to say. Because that snap mechanic is great for kind of keeping it locked in, you know, so it doesn't accidentally shimmy open. But when I am trying to deliberately open it, I get paranoid that I'm going to pull too hard and cards are going to go flying. So that does take some getting used to. I don't know if I would categorize that as a con just yet, but I could see, you know, if you're constantly having to, my other carrying cases are just, you know, whether it's Velcro or magnetic, it's super easy to pop open and close. This is not. This is definitely more secure than, I think it's more secure than my magnetic one, you know, by a little bit. But, you know, I would argue to say that, you know, my favorite security method in terms of these carrying cases, the tried and true Velcro, is pretty nice. It's very secure. It's just easy to handle. But this is a new mechanic I'm dealing with in terms of the snapping. I haven't used it enough to say whether or not I like this more or less than the other ones, but just a minor detail. Just thought I'd point that out. That is something to keep in mind. Same thing for the bottom compartment. Now, I did order some dice. They are coming in. I have them ordered from a couple different areas, so you know, the dice that I'm using are just some custom dice that I've ordered, and excited to get those here. But that's what the bottom compartment is. So if you look at the picture here on screen, you can kind of see this bottom compartment over here where the dice can sit, or any counters or whatever you may have will sit at the bottom of this thing, and that's what makes this tower kind of cool. Same thing, it has kind of this stack mechanic. So this one, I definitely feel like could give me some troubles, only because dice are a lot more loose in here. They're going to be, you know, loosely chilling out in this bottom tray, and then when I open it up, you know, if I'm not careful, I could end up spilling dice everywhere, so that could get kind of annoying. I can kind of see that happening. However, nice little tray at the bottom, you can kind of see here, hollowed out quite a bit. So maybe this hollow inset is, it looks like maybe I would probably say about half an inch in. And then the dish itself, the tray in here, is about I would probably say an inch and a quarter, or about an inch and a quarter, I would probably say. So I mean, you got about an inch and a quarter of clearance in here, because this lip in here, this lip groove, is about half an inch. So that does perfectly sit flush all the way up to the top, and then you've got about an inch and a quarter in here for your dice. So, you know, it'll fit your D20s, it'll fit whatever various dices or counters you'll need for Magic. Same mechanic as the top. Machined pretty well, but it snaps into place. Kind of hear that snapping. I'm not sure how, if I like that. That kind of makes me a little nervous, because, you know, obviously if I'm setting it on the table and I'm opening my dice, I won't have to worry too much. But it's not nearly as convenient as keeping my dice in a bag, or you know, even a snapping a deck case or something like that, where I can keep some extra dice in. That's just more accessible, more convenient. But if I ever need to store some extra dice or counters, and I need a place to stash them, I can definitely put them in here. Just consideration. So that's it for the Ultra Pro Satin tower here. I'll try to keep this video kind of short and sweet, so I'm not dragging on. But you have to bear with me, I'm kind of stuffy. It is allergy season where I live, and I live by a lot of plants, vegetation, and people doing their landscaping. So if I sound kind of stuffy, that's kind of why. So I have to apologize. 1 second here, and then we'll hop right into reviewing the KMC super matte card sleeves here that we have. Okay, so a little quick background on the card sleeves, why I went with KMC, what I have had in the past. I've been playing Magic Well, I just recently got back into Magic, not competitively, just for fun. But I've played Magic since, let me see, Fallen Empires, a little bit before Ice Age, I think. So quite a while. I think that's probably late 90s. Quite a while, a couple decades ago. So I've burned through sleeves. I mean, everything from the off-brand ones to, you know, Ultra Pro is probably my most commonly used just because it was the most available, readily available. Ultra Pro is a huge, you know, brand in America here in the States. So that's what we have access to, and that's what I most commonly use. Of course, we have, I always try to support the local area shops, card shops when I can, when I'm in there playing Friday Night Magic, or when I was before. They had a lot of, I believe it was, am I saying it right? Dragon Shield? Is it Dragon Armor? Is it? I can't. It's been a few years, guys. Cut me some slack, okay? Dragon Armor sleeves. I think Google will know. Let's Google this. That's not what. Help me out, Google. What is it? Dragon Shield. Thank you. Dragon Shield sleeves. So I've had the matte white ones. I've had black. I've had, I swear, maybe my pink ones aren't Dragon Shield. Maybe my pink ones are just Ultra Pro pink sleeves. But I've most definitely had the green ones and the white ones. I might have even had the red ones and the black ones. Yeah, I don't think I've had the blue ones. I think blue was the only one I didn't have. I'm pretty sure my best buddy in high school had the blue ones, but this is way back in the day. I still have a set of my white Dragon Shield, and they held up pretty well. I haven't had any issues with them. However, the Dragon Shield white sleeves was on one of my tournament decks, one of my extended tournament decks. So they're still holding up pretty well. I haven't had sleeves really fall apart on me. I would say Ultra Pro out of Dragon Shield, Ultra Pro, I've probably used them the most extensively, so maybe it's not fair to say that those are the ones that usually will fall apart on me. I've heard kind of mixed feedback. I played the hell out of the Ultra Pro sleeves, though, you know, taking cards, re-sleeving decks, things like that. This is back when I was, you know, a kid playing competitive Magic, so it wasn't like I had a ton of disposable income, so it wasn't like I had a new box of sleeves per new deck. But now that I have a little bit more disposable income than I did when I was a kid, I'm buying weird and more durable shit like this. But anyways, back to the sleeves. That's what I've kind of experienced. I did a little bit of research, asking around for some feedback, and a lot of people, especially on Reddit, have kind of recommended some KMC sleeves. And KMC sleeves are from Japan, like I mentioned before. They come in various sizes, so you kind of have to be careful when you're ordering them, especially since I don't read Japanese. But I know they come in standard, which isn't labeled standard, and they come in minis, which will be smaller cards. I don't know if, you know, minis. Am I thinking like Yu-Gi-Oh cards or something like that? Slightly smaller dimensions than Magic the Gathering cards. But anyways, their mini series will fit that. The standard will fit kind of snug, and I can kind of show you. Not too snug, but they fit very much similar. And to be honest with you, if I put this side by side with one of my current Ultra Pro sleeves, you won't be able to tell, and I don't know if you can kind of see that, but this is the super matte black. The front, there is no silver logo or labeling or anything like that, like what Ultra Pro does with their sleeves. But you can kind of see it fits pretty snug. I would say like the amount of wiggle room I have on each side is pretty tight. It's probably about, I don't know, I would probably say 1.5 millimeters on each side. Same with the top and the bottom. I really like the fit of these, and that's what a lot of people were saying. The fit of these cards are great. It's not too tight where you feel like your card's gonna bust out of the sleeve. which makes, you know, shuffling them really nice. It makes, you know, handling the cards really, really nice. You don't feel like you're going to be damaging your cards or anything like that. So there's just a perfect amount, and it's very, very precise, right? Top and bottom too. Sometimes you'll get sleeves that'll have an excessive amount of room at the top and a lot of wiggle room for your cards to kind of just, you know, slide and bend, and then you'll leave, you know, after you played for a while, if you notice, your cards will kind of rub and will kind of leave the how do you say, the imprint of your card dimensions on your sleeve. And you guys know what I'm talking about if you guys have played for a very long time. But these are very, very nice sleeve fit. I really, really am impressed with the fit of this KMC sleeve. The texture, very, very similar to some of my Ultra Pro. Some of my Ultra Pro backs, or am I thinking? Let me think. No, I'm sorry. Dragon Shield. Very similar texture to Dragon Shield. It's got this kind of matte, kind of, I don't want to say pleather, but it's got a very, very subtle, like, stippling, textured feel to it. You know what I mean? It's slightly coarse. It's not as smooth as some of my other Ultra Pro sleeves. So a lot of this Ultra Pro sleeves that you can order online with custom, you know, graphics on the back and stuff, those are typically smoother. They're gloss. These are matte. So I mean, the texture difference is there when you're handling them. I play for fun, and to be completely honest with you, I don't have a preference. Like, I'm not gonna sit there and be like, oh my gosh, like, these mattes feel so much better than the gloss. It's just a preference, really. To be honest with you, if I'm handling the cards in terms of, you know, drawing them or whatever, or cutting them, my preference is I prefer just a very, very subtle preference, or, you know, small preference to matte sleeves over gloss. So the pros and cons of that, you know, you can kind of judge for yourself. But the gloss or the smooth backs, especially on the Ultra Pro sleeves, have 1,000 times more options in terms of designs. If you're into designs like graphics, like, I think the only sleeve that I considered getting over these, just for design's sake, that I was actually tossing up before I ordered these, were the Ultra Pros. The Ultra Pros, like the Planeswalker symbol, because I really, really like the Planeswalker symbol on the back, and it was just like black with, you know, the gold outline symbol or whatever it was on there, or the M15 Planeswalker sleeves. I really like the white with the black illustration, and then, you know, the subtle pop of color. I really, really like those sleeves. So those were the 3 sleeves I was kind of tossing up. I eventually settled on these, and a factor in doing so was just, you know, these were pretty cheap, very, very affordable for me. So if I were to bring back up, how much did I pay for these hyper mats? So I ordered 80 sleeves and I paid about $12. That includes shipping from Japan. So I mean, very affordable. $12 for 80 sleeves from Japan, and these were highly, highly recommended. Probably, if we took a poll, an internet poll, as much as those are worth, these were right up there on top. I believe it was these, and then there was a good kind of Reddit comment that kind of listed the pros and cons of Ultra Pro sleeves, KMC sleeves, and then, you know, your Dragon Shield sleeves were the 3 big brands, or 3 big sleeve types that they had listed in comparison. So not to drag this out too long, the fit is great, the feel is great. Cost, I think it's great. I guess it kind of depends on where you're ordering from. I did an eBay search and found these hyper mats, no problem. I found a really good deal on them. So I think that's extremely reasonable, and maybe I'm just out of tune. Maybe I haven't penny pinched with Magic in a really long time, but to me, $12 for 80 sleeves, I don't know, I feel like that's really, really good. Oh wait, no. that's not correct. I think I got more than that. I think I got, no, I ended up getting 160. I'm sorry, $12 for 160 sleeves. That's correct, because I already used up 80 sleeves already, or just about. Yeah, I used up about 80 sleeves, including my land so far, so I burned through a whole pack. 160 sleeves for 12 bucks. I think that's really good. On average, you know, if we're doing the math real quick here, that's 4 packs of 40. You know, 160 divided by 4 packs of 40. For, you know, 12 bucks, you're looking at about $3 for a pack of 40. Can't really beat that. I think the Ultra Pros were even more expensive, and I do have Ultra Pro sleeves, and I prefer these. If you're more of a plain solid color type of person and you're looking for some premium, really nice sleeves at a very good cost, I don't think I would recommend any other brand as of right now. Just going off of my first impressions, these are extremely impressive. So very cool, very much like that. And there's no little, like, I don't know, it's not much of a difference to a lot of people, but the fact that it doesn't have that silver little foil on here may not bother some people, but the fact that you can actually see your whole artwork, you know, your whole card on here might mean something to some people. I have these full art swamp, so it's just, it's awesome not having anything there to kind of block your view. But yeah, that's the basic rundown. I'm extremely happy with the KMC hypermats. That I would highly recommend to anybody looking for card sleeves, whether you're playing Magic or whatever other card game. Extremely recommend that. The Ultra Pro Satin Tower, I really like the way that it looks. I like the way that it feels. For functionality's sake, I like where the deck holster is. What I don't like is the dice tray, and the mechanic is that snap mechanic. Like I said, the only reason I don't really like that is because it just seems a little inconvenient to apply that much kind of pressure, and then you're kind of fumbling around with the dice. I know it's going to annoy me if I'm opening up my box and then some dice just fly out, you know, because it's at the bottom and you have to kind of shimmy. There's no other way, you know, if you set it flush on the table to make sure your dice aren't, you know, opening it up at an angle. If you are opening it up at an angle, you have to be extremely careful that you're not cranking it too hard and then, you know, pop it open and dice go shooting everywhere. So that kind of annoys me a little bit after even loading my deck in, and I haven't even loaded my dice in there yet. But I'm sure it's a very, very similar mechanic, considering it's both a snap mechanic like that. So yeah, that's it for my honest reviews. Like I said, these aren't sponsored products, otherwise I probably wouldn't have said that kind of stuff about Ultra Pro, but I bought this stuff with my own money. Neither one were a bank breaker. I believe the Ultra Pro Satin Tower was, you know, you could probably get anywhere between 10 to 15 bucks depending on where you're getting it, or, you know, I simply went on eBay and I got it kind of somewhere in between, probably closer to $12-13, something like that. For this current, at the time of this video, of course, it may change in the future, but I didn't think that was too bad, considering I think I paid more for my magnetic carrying case for my last tournament deck, which I probably spent more money than I needed to, but I felt like, yeah, this is a nice desk ornament for me to keep my commander deck at work, where it's not distracting or anything. It kind of fits with the decor. I really, really like that. Something nice and clean. And then, of course, it just so happens to be my KMC sleeves are black as well, so it's kind of like the whole black on black theme with my mono black, you know, commander deck. So kind of worked out, kind of themed out. Just thought I'd let you guys know. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the video. Hopefully you guys got some value and some good information. Once again, KMC decks, KMC card sleeves, man, check them out. You know, props to them for making just an outstanding product. Just awesome. Have heard very good things, nothing but good things about KMC sleeves, especially on Reddit. Reddit is high praise on KMC, so that seems to be the consensus on Reddit. But yeah, let me know if you guys have any questions, comments, concerns, or anything like that in the comment section. I know this is kind of a little bit different. We're kind of all over the place, so this channel is dedicated to whatever games I'm currently playing. I was going to do a Crowball video last night, but there were some bugs that were bugging out that I didn't feel like sharing in the middle of my informative stream, so I didn't record that stream last night. But hopefully they'll make an update on Crowfall. I'll have some Crowfall updates coming up. Other than that, I'll probably, once I get all my lands and everything together, I'll probably go ahead and do a review or kind of a recap of my commander deck after I've played it a couple times, or the dice that I'm getting, things like that. Whether it's magic related, whether it's tech related, whether it's design related, or whether it's Crowfall / whatever other video game I am playing. I'll try to give you guys some good information and cover that. But I appreciate the feedback. I've been getting a lot of good constructive comments on there. And hopefully you guys enjoy the content. But thank you very much for stopping by. And have a good night, guys. And we'll see you guys later. Peace.